Good afternoon, everyone. We begin with breaking news. Portions of I-29 and I-94 are now reopened. They were closed due to low visibility. Westbound I-94 between Jamestown and Bismarck is now open, as well as I-29 from the South Dakota border to Fargo. I-29 remains closed from Fargo to Grand Forks, as well as I-94 from Fargo to Jamestown. Reduced visibility and snow-covered conditions may still be present. All drivers are encouraged to slow down and drive for the conditions. The dig out continues from our big-time snowfall. This skating rink caretaker has his hands full as he circles the ice on a pond in the Deer Creek neighborhood. You'll be hearing the sounds of snow blowers well into the evening hours throughout much of the valley. Hutch, what can we expect next?
Tough travel, and for tonight now we're turning our attention from our blizzard conditions with the cancellation of the blizzard warning to dangerous cold. First alert weather day does continue though, because we still have areas of difficult travel. The dogs are barking, those sun dogs out there with a view from our home of economy camera in the Devil's Lake Basin. Just beautiful and stunning there as we see some improvement across the valley. Here is a look at the peak winds today. They did hit over 50 miles per hour from Jamestown through Fargo, 46-mile-per-hour gusts out in the Elbow Lake area. Right now they're tapering down a pinch with the gustiest of the wind where you see the colors, and still over 30 miles per hour at times. But that trend will continue to decrease as that sun you saw moments ago sets in our western sky. Still a batch of light snow showers. Roseau County and Highway 11 down to Bemidji. Cloud cover is starting to decrease in our Fargo area and points west. Visibility still rough and tumble. Thief River Falls 3/4 of a mile in Badette as the system continues to wind its way up into parts of northern Minnesota. Now tonight, turning our attention as mentioned to wind chills. They're going to be dangerous. Wind chill advisories for our western counties. We're going to get pretty wind chilly here as well, but take a look at the current readings. Approaching 30 below on exposed skin in Minot and our western counties. Bundle up, throw that survival kit in your vehicle. Stacy, a little insult to injury for your Tuesday. Measurable snow, and significant for some, coming again tomorrow. I'll have the latest in your hour-by-hour forecast on that, and we'll look ahead to our first slap of Arctic air coming our way here in a moment.
Yeah, looking forward to that forecast. Thanks, Hutch. And make sure you have the Valley News Live Storm Team weather app so you can keep up with the weather anytime, anywhere. You'll get the latest forecast and conditions so you can plan your day. Just search VNL Weather in the App Store and download it for free. Also, make sure you have our Valley News Live News app downloaded. We've posted an updated list of business closings due to the weather. Search VNL News in the App Store for a free download. The Minnesota Department of Transportation has lifted the no travel advisory on state and federal highways in Clay County. The agency says visibility has improved in these areas. However, roads are completely snow and ice covered, so you're encouraged to use caution. Early this morning, a number of people were detained at a Moorhead apartment building after police found a man with multiple gunshot wounds. Kevin Schroeder, who witnessed the event, told us what happened before police arrived.
We got up early to start trying to clear the snow, and there was a truck out in front with some guys staggering around, and they had gone up to the apartment across the street and come back down, and they left him laying there with a lot of commotion going around the truck, and then those guys drove off and left a guy laying there.
Moorhead PD tell us around 7 this morning they responded to a report of a man laying in the street in the 900 block of 23rd Avenue. Police say evidence led them to a nearby apartment, and there were several people detained. No one has been officially charged. The victim is believed to have non-life-threatening injuries. New for you now at 4. Fire crews spent the afternoon working to put out a fire that broke out just after noon. Firefighters were dispatched to Northern Metal Recycling for a report of a fire. Earlier today, a no travel advisory was issued for West Fargo due to the weather. Police are still asking drivers to avoid the 9th Street Northwest area. The weather isn't the only thing causing chaos in the Midwest. Several airlines say COVID-related crew shortages are prompting cancellations and delays today across the country. Dina Demetrius reports from Los Angeles International Airport.
The holiday hustle and bustle is more like a drag.
It's very frustrating, and we have plans already. We have a business to run, stuff like that.
Sonal Patel's return flight to Kentucky isn't getting off the ground.
It was for 9:24 and got delayed and went to 1 o'clock and all of a sudden got canceled.
The Omicron-driven surge is forcing more flight cancellations with infections among pilots, crew, and airline staff. According to FlightAware, more than 1,000 flights with U.S. destinations were canceled Monday, and more than 3,000 were delayed.
Airlines can't operate flights without the required number of pilots and flight attendants. Safety comes first.
Now several airlines are calling on the CDC to update its COVID guidance for the fully vaccinated and reduce the quarantine isolation period from 10 days to 5 for breakthrough cases.
Honestly, if it's good enough for hospital workers, for nurses and doctors, I think it should be good enough for the airline industry as well.
While the disruption is certainly a hassle, experts say it should resolve itself when the holiday rush dies down.
Once the airlines can stabilize their schedule for the next 5 days, then for the first quarter of 2022, it should be relatively okay.
In the meantime, travel experts advise signing up for text alerts so you'll be notified immediately of any changes to your flight. And of course, pack your patience. Dina Demetrius, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Another snag, travel experts say there's very limited inventory for rental cars, and those that are available at airports are exorbitantly priced. Closer to home, more than 100 flights have been canceled or delayed as of this morning at the Minneapolis-St. Paul Airport. Hector International Airport is also posting delays and cancellations on arrivals and departures for routes throughout the country. An airline trade group has asked the CDC to shorten the recommended isolation period for fully vaccinated employees who test positive to a maximum of 5 days. That's down from 10 days. They hope that move would alleviate staff shortages. A federal program designed to help cover the funeral costs for people who died from COVID-19 is going largely untapped. According to an AP report, families who have lost loved ones can apply to FEMA for reimbursement of up to $9,000 to help cover funeral expenses. FEMA has already paid out $1.5 billion in reimbursements since January 2020. However, the country just surpassed 800,000 COVID-related deaths. That suggests hundreds of thousands of families who may be eligible haven't taken advantage of the benefit. The North Dakota Department of Human Services announced today changes to the Medicaid state plan that would mean expanded services for North Dakota residents, including behavioral health services. The amendment would offer grants to build the provider network to offer services for mental health conditions, substance use disorders, and brain injuries. Also, under the new rules, more people would be eligible for disability. The amendment will go into effect on January 1st. The plan is now considered to be the most robust program approved by CMS in the country. A former St. Michael mayor was killed after he was struck by a Wright County Sheriff's Department patrol car on Thursday night. According to documents, 84-year-old Harold Welter was hit by a Minnesota Sheriff's deputy who was driving to an emergency medical situation.
This is not how we expected to lose Harry. You know, he's had some health difficulties, but he kept persevering, and we'd still see Harry going for walks in town. And we knew he was slowing down somewhat, but this was not how we expected to hear about the passing of our good friend.
Welter was hit in a St. Michael driveway by Wright County Sheriff's Deputy Dustin Haydenbelter, but troopers didn't provide details on how the squad car ended up in that driveway. In a release put out by the city of St. Michael, Welter is described as a long-standing public servant who spent time as both the mayor and a city council member in the 80s and 90s. The release also said he was a veteran of the St. Michael Fire Department and served for 23 years. The incident report described road conditions as snowy and icy. State Patrol is still investigating. If you watched the Vikings-Rams game, you may have witnessed some unusual halftime entertainment. US Bank Stadium erupted with holiday spirit during the dog races, which featured corgis dressed up in Christmas sweaters, some even being ridden by Santa Claus. At halftime, the Vikings down 6-12 of the dogs lined up on the 40-yard line in a race to the end zone. Unfortunately, the game went to the dogs, with the Vikings losing 23-30.